Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel NetSec. In today's episode, I'm gonna continue to talk about my CyberArk PAS Lab 11.4. I'm gonna talk about the HTML5 PSM Gateway installation. As you can see from CyberArk documentation, this is very good picture to show the role HTML5 gateway in the whole CyberArk PAS solution. In my previous lab, I already built the most of component here: PVWA, PSM, PSMP, Vault, HA. Also, I have AD, mail server, syslog server, and TP radio server, all those built up. Even set up the PTA in my previous lab as well, so you can find out from my CyberArk playlist. So in today's lab, I'm going to talk about the installation PSM HTML5 Gateway 192.168.2.29. So first, let's take a look how it looks like with the HTML5 Gateway setup. As you can see, I already have a couple of accounts onboarded. Admin 1 is the one of them. So if I choose RDP here, based on my setup, I already have an option to allow select HTML. Usually I will put yes. So I'm going to have an option to do HTML file or do RDP file. So right now I'm using HTML file. And remote machine going to be one of my machine for testing. In these settings, it should open a web page and log in through HTML5 page. You see the new page opened. It's on the 192.168.2.29. So it's using Apache Guacamole component. And now we are in here. So this is a pure HTML page. You don't need to have RDP client. It's gonna using a web page to show you the remote server, to RDP into the remote server. If you look at the guide here, there's a couple of ways to install. You can install from a Docker, you can install from the RPM package. I would prefer using Docker. You can follow the steps to install your HTML5 gateway to integrate with your other CyberArk component. Okay, let's start the installation HTML5 gateway. I already installed my Red Hat Linux, so let's take a look. So I'm using Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7.9. You can use CentOS, that should be fine. You need to make sure you install Docker on your Linux version. We can take a look at this guide here. Install HTML5 gateway via Docker. So you need to have HTML gateway PSM WD Docker folder to copy it. I already did that. We have to find that folder. It's on your PSM machine. So when you install your PSM, unzip that installation file, you should be able to find the HTML5 gateway folder here. So you need to copy this whole folder to your Linux system. So I already did that. So you can see I have this PSM folder here. I was using Windows SCP to make that transition. So you just need to move this folder over. That's what I did before. Just show you the process here. The next step is installing a Docker. since we are using HTML5 Gateway Docker, we have to have Docker installed. I have some post on my blogger, so you can see how you can do the installation. Basically, those 3 commands will get your Docker running. I already did that, so we can give it a try to see how that looks out. Basically, they're gonna downloading a Docker installation script and then get it running. So we already have Docker installed, so we don't have to continue this step, but basically you just need to copy those 3 commands in to your Linux system, and then you can get Docker to run. So our Docker version, and we don't have any system running on a Docker yet. We're gonna find the command from the installation guide here. So we need to go into that folder and make the script HTML5 underscore installation.sh executable. After that, you need to run a command to do the execute setup script. I already run that before, so you can see most of task has been completed and the sets already exist, and it's importing a Docker image, and we can see that we should have a Docker image here, 567 megabytes Docker image, CA HTML5 Gateway. So that has been created. Next, it will be the command to launch the PSM HTML5 Gateway Docker container. So there's 2 different ways to do that. One is using auto-created SSL certificate. One is run a container using the imported CA signed SSL certificate. For that purpose, we're gonna using auto-created SSL certificate. This gonna give you a warning when you launch HTML5 page to do remote RDP session. They will give you a warning because this is auto-signed SSL certificate, not trusted by your browser. So, but that should be okay in our lab environment. If you want to do in your production, then most likely you need to do this way to make our lab simple. So we're gonna just using auto-created SSL certificate. Here is the command to run this Docker. It's just one command to run this Docker, and then your HTML5 gateway gonna be up and running. You may want to change the name. So usually I change it to my own name. Dot. You need to match the host name with the Docker name here. Other parameters, just keep it as it is. So it's up in just a couple of seconds, and then the configuration on your HTML5 gateway is completed. There's no more setup here, but we are using self-signed SSL certificate. Now we need to go back to our PVWA to do our configuration. There's a couple steps to do here. First, of course, you need to define PSM HTML5 Gateway. So right-click your privileged session manager and select Add Configured PSM Gateway Server. There's no settings here. You need to continue right-click at the PSM Gateway server. In here, you can name using the ID to name your PSM Gateway. I'm using HTML5, but you can use whatever name you like. And you can see the connection details here at JS. So if you look at the guide anywhere, they were just telling you to the FQDN. But I find out if you're using FQDN and you are using self-signed certificate, you are not able to launch the HTML5 page because that CA is not trusted. So Google Chrome will not let you go to next step. To make Google accept the certificate, we're gonna using our IP 192.168.2.29 instead using the FQDN name. That's because of we are using self-signed certificate. After you configure the PSM Gateway servers, just don't forget to apply the settings. You need to configure PSM server to let PSM server know there's a PSM5 gateway layer to use. So we have server, we have TS gateway, but we don't have PSM gateway. Now we just need to right-click connection details, add the PSM gateway. The ID is the one we just created in a configured PSM gateway servers. That's the basic tool settings. You may also want to configure your connection component. There's a parameter here which can allow you to choose to using RDP file to do RDP session or using HTML5 gateway to do the session. You can find out that settings in here using a single account for both RDP file and HTML5 based sessions. There's not much information telling you how to configure allow select HTML5. But here is the steps to do that. Go to the PSM RDP connection components, go to the user parameters, just right click, add a parameter. So put the name here. You can also put the display name. The value, leave it empty, others will leave it default. I'm going to show you how to use this allow select HTML5 when we do the lab testing. Apply. So that's all settings. 3 steps. Add configure the PSM Gateway servers. Configure PSM servers for new PSM Gateway. And configure your connection component to know there's an option to use RDP file or to use HTML5 gateway. That's all settings we need to do. So save the settings and then we go back to our accounts to test it. I already have a bunch of accounts settings here. So here is a connect. So when you connect, you will see this allow select HTML5. There's a text box here to let you to put some your choice here, either yes or either no. So let's do no first. What that means no, not using HTML5. That means using RDP file, connect. We download the RDP file and then I'm going to show you the connection. It's going to log into remote server using the RDP protocol. And you can see you are being recorded. PSM is perfect running behind it. Close it. So if you want to use in HTML5 RDP default here, then you're using yes. Put yes in this text box and then choose your remote machine and then to connect. That will launch. That's the self-signed certificate warning because they cannot verify the CA. If we are using IP here. If you follow the guide here, you put into the FQDN name, then you won't be able to get this proceed to 192.168.2.29 this option. They will just block you. You won't go forward. So you have to put the IP in the PSM Gateway settings, not FQDN name. Just click proceed, continue. This is only one time. Once you click the proceed, next time it won't show up. It's just one time settings. Here is our HTML5 page and remote login to target server. It's nice, easy, and the performance is running well. And also we can see the recording behind it. If you go back to monitoring, you should be able to see 2 recordings for today. This is the recording we just did. We connect into there, and then we click the view up. We click the view update. That's all settings you need to know for HTML5. Of course, if you're using CA signed certificate, the command to launch the Docker will be different. Thank you for watching.